should be a quick video. It's basically a reply to Crossesborg, or whatever his name is, one of the scumbags, Lieutenant Archer, or whatever his name is, in the Tommy from the Bronx series, coming up again. It is funny how these people are just so hysterical about me, little tiny comments I make about the series. Like, what? I'm not allowed to express an opinion. It's just, this is so idiotic. So I'm going to, let's go over it again. He's making the claim I can't distinguish reality from fantasy and all this bullshit, and of course it's just that bullshit. The point is, let's say I put on a series, and it's a pedophile series, and I do, and it's a joke though, it's a joke series about pedophiles, let's say, even though it's not a funny subject, and so I do some really jokey little stuff, a little bit of pedophile business goes on in the series, and it's very funny how the pedophile lives in his house and tries to, get himself some ass. And a little sad story. Maybe he's even part of one of those things where he has to wear a bracelet on his leg. It's a very funny series about the poor pedophile. And then I get Cody or whoever to make a really good, like really good cinematographic, really well filmed sex scene. Of a guy having sex with a 6-year-old. I should expect that nobody would be bothered by that. Everybody just say, oh, that's very entertaining. I mean, obviously context is everything. Torture in a dramatic context is one thing. Torture in a buffoon series is another thing. And it really is the whole point of it. You know what I'm saying? It's not an indelicate subject. It's got to be done right, or it can be very wrong. It's that simple. And in my opinion, it's wrong in this series. It's wrong. It's unproductive, unconstructive. I mean, if people enjoy it, that's their business. But yeah, I don't see any value in it. I don't see any point in it. I'm not saying anybody should pass a law against it. I'm just saying, personally, I think it's socially destructive. I think it's desensitizing, and in the context of what our fucking country is doing in other countries to people, and what our fucking president is talking about, and the fact that we don't have attorney generals that can even define what torture is, it is insensitive, and what's a good word for it? It's a hypocrisy. You might as well join right in then. You might as well do a video series about the White House and how great it is to torture people, because the effect is exactly the same. It's an endorsement in a way. It really can't be looked at any other way. So anyway, enough said. Stupid series. Stupid, ugly, dark, idiotic, unhealthy. Okay. Enough said on that. On the hard drive crap, which is part of the video I'm responding to, it gives me a whole lecture on what copyright law says, blah blah. No, you cannot give your copyright away. You can't look. Putting stuff on YouTube in the first place is already giving it away. Essentially, it's way too public a forum. You can't. You have no expectation of retaining any economic value if you put something on YouTube. There's just no way you can have that expectation. And it's beside the point. Like I said, once you've given it away to everybody, one person just gives it to me. One of these people he gave it to, they just give me the same rights. They got him to unconditionally. They just give me the rights. Period. End of story. We're done. So there's no legal issue here. Sorry, I'm posting the hard drive videos. I'll post a link to the first one of the new ones I'm posting, and I'll post one a day or whatever it is of his old crappy, ugly, shitty videos that he took down after they got viewed. He took them down, and to me that's not even fighting fair. Get your message out, say what you got to say, but don't take any accountability for it. Don't leave it up there so anybody else can see it later and point out what a fucktard you are, what an asshole you are. The whole context of an argument is destroyed. And so fuck that tactic, and fuck YouTube for letting him put these videos on in the first place. And yeah, please go ahead, Do your DMCA bullshit, and we'll see where it goes, because I'll definitely fight it. I'll certainly fight for my fair use rights, you asshole. And the last subject would be, and there's been comments here and there, I mean, there hasn't been that many of them, but I mean, obviously some people have decided to pervert the message, the point I was trying to make in the abortion videos. Alright, so I'll re-spell out the illustration again. I pointed out that you could harmlessly kill a 2-year-old, you know, put it to sleep while it's asleep, so it never felt any pain, never experienced any transition, just peacefully and gracefully died. And human beings would be horrified at that prospect of killing a 2-year-old harmlessly, humanely. But then in this town, for example, it's perfectly legal to take a bow and arrow and shoot animals with the bow and arrow. Fully conscious, living animals. They're not asleep. They're not any of that shit. They're perfectly awake. They're trying to live their life. And all of a sudden they have an arrow in their colon. And they can spend the next 6 hours dying. And that's okay. That's a routine, fun event. That's how people have recreation here. And that's the dichotomy I was attempting to illustrate, is that it doesn't make any sense in my book of ethics, and that was the extent of my point. I'm not advocating killing 2-year-olds. I'm not advocating killing anything. What I'm especially not advocating is harming anything. Harm is the thing I'm worried about. Harm is the thing that concerns me. I'm not interested in longevity or potential or what it would have been. None of that crap means anything in my ethics, personal ethics. But certainly as a social contract, we have no right to kill each other. But my argument is an ethical argument, purely. And the only thing that I consider in my ethical argument is harm. There has to be some kind of harm for there to be significance to an event. And certainly harm can be defined in a lot of ways, and that's not what I'm arguing. But regardless, I'm not advocating killing 2-year-olds. Grow up, assholes. Really. I got 450 videos. You're not going to find any videos where I talk about killing 2-year-olds. Jesus.